One human soldier dared to bond with an 8-foot alien giant. The city was dead. Not long ago, streets here were alive with people, children running, markets full of sound, neon lights burning in the night sky. Now there was only ruin. The sky was dark with smoke. Buildings stood like broken teeth, sharp and hollow. Machines of war lay scattered, metal twisted and burned. The air was heavy, smelling of ash, fire, and old blood. In the middle of this silence, one man moved. His name was Captain Ryan Hale, a soldier of Earth's army. His armor was cracked, his helmet broken on the side. He had no squad, no orders, no radio signal, only the silence of destruction. Ryan walked carefully through the ruins, his rifle held close. Each step echoed in the empty street. He knew the war was not over. Somewhere out there they were waiting, the alien giants. 8 feet tall, strong as machines, feared by every soldier. Ryan's breathing was hard inside his helmet. His heart beat heavy, not from fear of death. He was used to death, but from the loneliness of survival. Alone, he could not last long. He needed shelter, food, and maybe luck. He passed by a burned transport vehicle, its wheels melted, the ground black with fire scars. He crouched near the metal, scanning the street. Nothing moved, no wind, no sound. For a moment, he felt like the last man alive. A soft whisper touched his ear. Not a human voice. It was the ground. It was the air. It was footsteps. Heavy, slow, coming closer. Ryan froze. His muscles locked like stone. He gripped his rifle tighter, sweat dripping under his helmet. He turned his head, and then he saw it. A shadow. It grew taller with each step, stretching across the ruined wall. 8 feet, broad shoulders, thick arms. The sound of metal armor rubbing. The sound of something alien. Ryan's heart stopped. The giant appeared. An alien warrior, standing tall in the middle of the street. Its eyes glowed faintly, like burning coals. Its weapon was longer than Ryan's body, sharp and brutal. Its skin was marked with strange tattoos, glowing faintly blue under the smoke. This was no friend. This was the enemy. The same kind of creature that had destroyed entire colonies, broken human armies, crushed tanks with bare hands. Ryan slowly raised his rifle. His finger rested on the trigger. One shot would echo loud, too loud, but maybe it could save his life. The alien saw him. 2 sets of eyes locked across the silence of war. Ryan's breath stopped. The alien's chest rose and fell, slow and steady. It could attack in 1 second, and Ryan would never fire fast enough. He was a man. The alien was a monster. But then, something strange happened. The alien did not move. It did not raise its weapon. It did not rush forward with deadly strength. Instead, it stood still. Its eyes burned with something Ryan could not read. Anger, pain, or maybe curiosity. Seconds passed. The silence grew heavier. Ryan's finger shook on the trigger. His training screamed, "Shoot! Shoot now! Don't wait!" But his mind whispered, "Why hasn't it killed me?" The alien slowly lowered its weapon. The tip of the blade touched the ground with a faint metallic sound. It tilted its head, watching Ryan like a puzzle. Ryan's chest tightened. What was this? A trick? A trap? Or something else? He noticed then. The alien was wounded. A dark stain spread across its side, glowing faintly. Its breathing was rougher now, a low growl with every breath. The warrior was hurt, badly. Ryan blinked, confused. Every story, every order, every soldier had always said, "These creatures show no mercy, they kill humans on sight." They feel no pain, no weakness, no hesitation. And yet here one stood, bleeding, lowering its weapon, choosing not to strike. The silence between, and then became louder than any battlefield explosion. In that moment, Ryan felt the truth. His choice mattered. More than orders, more than fear. If he fired now, the war would continue as always. Blood for blood, death for death. But if he waited, something new might begin. He lowered his rifle slightly. His hands still shook. His body screamed against it, but he did not fire. The alien made a sound, deep, low, like thunder under stone. Words, or only a growl. Ryan could not understand, but he felt no threat in it. The alien stepped back once, heavy foot shaking dust from the street. Then it waited. Man and giant, human and alien, both alone in a broken city, both enemies by nature, by history, by blood. And yet, for this one heartbeat of silence, they were not killing each other. They were watching. Ryan's chest filled with something strange. Fear, yes, but also wonder. The silence of the battlefield was no longer empty. It was alive, holding a secret. The kind of secret that could change everything. If you enjoy stories of courage, survival, and strange bonds between humans and aliens, consider subscribing to this channel. It helps bring you more adventures like this one. The alien's eyes glowed brighter for a second. Ryan tightened his grip on his rifle again. The silence stretched, heavy and dangerous. And then the story truly began. The alien giant did not strike. Captain Ryan Hale could not understand why. All his training, all his battles, all his memories told him, if you ever face one of them alone, you die. That was the law of this war, yet here he stood, alive, and here the alien stood, not moving. The silence pressed down like a heavy hand. Smoke drifted between them, and far away, something exploded in the distance. But between man and alien, there was only stillness. Ryan's finger twitched on the trigger. He could end this right now. One pull, one flash, one bullet through the head of this giant. The alien was already weak, bleeding from its side. It would fall easy. But he did not fire. Something inside him whispered, wait, just wait. The alien's chest rose and fell, each breath like a storm inside its massive frame. Its eyes stayed on Ryan, burning with that strange glow, but there was no hate in them now. No rage, only a question. Ryan's heart pounded. He swallowed dry air. The alien made a sound, low, rough, like rocks grinding together. Ryan stiffened. He had heard alien voices before, always in the middle of screams, always followed by death. But this sound was different, softer, broken. The alien spoke again, one word, short and deep. Ryan could not understand. The language was alien, impossible, but the tone was almost human. A plea. The soldier blinked. What was this? Was he imagining it? The heat, the smoke, the loneliness. Maybe it was playing tricks on his mind. But no, the giant was not attacking. It was speaking. Ryan slowly lowered his rifle, just a little. The alien did not move. Then he saw it more clearly. The wound on its side was worse than he thought. The giant's armor was cracked open, dark liquid seeping out, glowing faintly blue. It was bleeding badly, struggling to stay upright. Ryan's breath caught. This thing, this enemy, was dying. He stepped forward one cautious step. The alien tensed, weapon lifting slightly. Ryan froze, then raised his free hand, palm open, showing he carried no threat, a universal sign, a human sign. The alien's glowing eyes narrowed, its huge chest rumbled, low and dangerous. For a long second, Ryan thought this was it, that the creature would strike him down. But then, the weapon lowered again. The soldier exhaled slowly, his throat tight. He took another step closer. The smell of alien blood was strange, metallic, sharp, almost electric in the air. His human brain screamed danger, but his instincts whispered something else. Help. Ryan slid the rifle across his back, freeing his hands. Carefully, he pulled a bandage kit from his armor. The alien tilted its head, watching. Its growl stopped. Ryan moved closer. He could see the creature's tattoos now, glowing lines across its skin. Glowing lines across its skin like rivers of light. He could hear its labored breath. Then slowly, carefully, he pressed the bandage against the wound. The alien roared in pain, a deep thunder that shook the broken walls around them. Ryan's heart leapt into his throat. He almost jumped back, almost reached for his rifle. But he didn't. He held the bandage firm. The alien did not strike. Instead, it groaned, head dropping slightly, massive shoulders trembling. For the first time, Ryan saw it, not as a monster, not as a beast of war, but as a living being. Strong, yes. Dangerous, yes. But also vulnerable. The silence grew different now, not heavy, not hostile, but strange. Ryan finished wrapping the wound, hands shaking. He stepped back slowly, giving space. The alien looked down at the bandage, then back at Ryan. Its eyes glowed softer now, dimmed like dying fire. It spoke again, a single word, a sound that Ryan could not understand, but he felt it, like a name. The alien's name. Ryan's breath caught. This was impossible. Humans and aliens did not speak. They did not share. They killed. They destroyed. But now, he had been given a name. The alien straightened slowly, towering above Ryan. It leaned heavy on its weapon, but its gaze never left the soldier. Ryan whispered softly, though he knew the alien would not understand. "Why didn't you kill me?" The alien tilted its head, silent. Ryan's chest tightened. He had no answer, no logic for this moment. But he felt something new, something dangerous. Trust. The moment shattered. A sharp buzzing filled the air. Ryan's head snapped up. Drones. Enemy scouts. Tiny machines, black and fast, darted through the smoke. Their red eyes blinked as they scanned the ruins. Death followed them. If they saw Ryan, they would call in fire. If they saw the alien, they would finish it off. The alien growled deep, lifting its weapon with effort. Ryan raised his rifle. For one heartbeat, they stood side by side, man and giant. The drones whirred closer, scanning beams cutting through the smoke. Then the fight began. Ryan fired first, bullets sparking through the air. One drone fell, smoking. Another turned and shot back, red beams slicing past his head. He dove behind rubble, heart racing. The alien roared and swung its massive weapon. In one strike, it smashed a drone from the air like swatting an insect. Sparks rained down, metal shattered. Together they fought, man and alien. Ryan's bullets cut through the sky. The alien's strength crushed the machines. The air burned with light, sound, and chaos. When the last drone exploded, silence returned. Smoke drifted. Sparks faded. The ruins were quiet once more. Ryan stood breathing hard, rifle smoking in his hands. He turned his head. The alien stood too, chest rising heavy, wounded but alive. Its glowing eyes met Ryan's again. They had fought together, not as enemies, not as killers, but as partners. Ryan felt his throat tighten. This was madness. This was impossible. A human soldier fighting alongside an alien giant? It was treason. If his commanders saw this, if his people learned this, he would be executed without a trial. But deep inside, he knew something had changed. The alien gave a deep growl, softer this time. It lowered its weapon, almost like a gesture of respect. Ryan nodded once, slowly. The silence between them was no longer the silence of death. It was the silence of a beginning, a forbidden beginning. And in that broken city, under smoke and ruin, a bond was born. A bond that could save them both, or destroy them forever. The battle with the drones was over, but the silence that followed felt even heavier. Ryan Hale stood with his rifle lowered, chest heaving. The air was sharp with smoke and the smell of burnt metal. Sparks from broken machines fizzled in the dust. His ears still rang with the memory of gunfire. Across from him, the alien giant leaned on its weapon, blood still dripping faintly from its side. Its massive chest rose and fell like thunder. The glowing tattoos on its skin flickered weakly, as if the battle had drained its strength. For a long moment, the two did not move. Two survivors. Two enemies. Bound by a fight neither of them had expected. Ryan's eyes locked on the giant's face. Its eyes glowed back, unreadable. He thought of the drones they had destroyed together. Without the alien, he would be dead already. Without him, maybe the alien would be finished too. They had saved each other. That thought should not exist. It was impossible, yet here it was. Ryan slowly slung his rifle across his back. The alien straightened, its towering figure still wounded but unbroken. They stood in silence. Ryan reached into his pack and pulled out his water flask. He drank one quick sip, then hesitated. The alien watched. Ryan stared at the flask, then back at the giant. His heart hammered. Slowly, carefully, he extended the flask forward. The alien tilted its head, eyes narrowing. For a moment, Ryan thought it would refuse, but then, one massive hand reached out. The flask looked tiny in its grip, like a child's toy. The alien brought it to its mouth, drank, and returned it without a word. Ryan froze. This was the first time in the entire war that a human had shared water with an alien. The silence deepened. Hours passed. The ruins grew darker as night approached. Ryan searched for shelter, scanning the buildings. The alien followed, heavy footsteps shaking the brie, oaken ground. Neither spoke. Neither dared break the fragile bond of quiet that had formed. Finally, Ryan found a half-destroyed shop, its roof still standing, shadows covering its corners. He gestured with his hand, "Here." The alien looked once, then entered first, checking the dark corners with its weapon. Ryan followed, rifle ready just in case. Inside they settled. Ryan sat against a wall, exhausted. The alien lowered itself slowly to the ground, its frame massive even in sitting. For the first time, Ryan saw how tired it was. The wound had not healed, even with the bandage. Its breathing was rough, heavy, almost painful. Ryan frowned. He could not speak its language, but he knew the sound of suffering. He opened his pack again, pulling out a small ration pack. Human food, simple, dry. He unwrapped one bar and ate half. Then, carefully, he held the other half out. The alien stared at the bar for a long moment. Then it reached into its armor and pulled something out. Something wrapped in strange black leaves, glowing faintly blue. With slow hands, it tore the leaves away, revealing soft flesh inside, like fruit. Ryan blinked. Alien food. The giant pushed the glowing piece forward. For a second, Ryan hesitated. What if it was poison? What if it killed him? But the look in the alien's eyes was steady, calm, waiting. Ryan took the fruit. He bit. The taste was strange, sweet, metallic, sharp, but not deadly. It filled his mouth with warmth. The alien ate the ration bar. It chewed slowly, like testing something new. Two enemies, sharing food in the dark. Time crawled. Night deepened. Outside, the distant roar of war echoed, explosions, gunfire, screams carried by the wind. But in the broken shop, there was only silence. Ryan cleaned his rifle, his eyes never leaving the giant. The alien cleaned its weapon too, massive fingers working with surprising care. This, I mirrored each other without knowing. At one point, Ryan looked up and caught the alien watching him, not with hatred, not with rage, but with something he could not name. Respect, maybe, or curiosity. Ryan felt something shift inside his chest. This was not just survival anymore. This was connection, fragile, dangerous, but real. Hours later, as the night grew colder, Ryan tried to rest. His body begged for sleep, but his mind refused. The alien sat awake, glowing eyes scanning the shadows. At last, Ryan closed his eyes. Just for a moment, he dreamed. He dreamed of fire, of broken cities, of giants crushing his people. He dreamed of blood and screams. He dreamed of the war. But then, he dreamed of the alien's eyes, watching, not killing, waiting. He woke with a start. The alien was still there, still sitting, still watching. Ryan breathed out slowly, relieved. For the first time in days, he had slept without fear of death. And the one who had given him that chance was an enemy. Morning came. The light of dawn broke through cracks in the roof. Ryan stretched stiff muscles. The alien rose too, towering above him, casting a long shadow. Ryan checked his rifle, his armor, his pack. He had little left. Food was almost gone. Ammo too. He would not survive long without supply. The alien growled something low, then pointed with its weapon toward the horizon. Ryan followed the direction with his eyes. Smoke rose from that way. Maybe a battlefield, maybe danger, or maybe hope. Ryan did not know why, but he nodded. The alien moved. Ryan followed. The city streets were deadly. Broken buildings, collapsed bridges, shadows hiding enemies. Every step felt like a trap. Ryan moved quietly, rifle ready. The alien walked slower now, wound slowing it down, but still it stayed strong, unyielding. At one point, a sound echoed, metal clattering. Ryan froze. The alien froze too. They raised weapons, eyes scanning. From the shadows, a patrol passed, human soldiers, Ryan's own people. He sucked in a breath, heart hammering. If they saw him with the alien, it would be over. He would be shot as a traitor on sight. The alien's eyes flickered, glowing faintly. It looked at Ryan. Ryan raised a finger to his lips. Quiet. The alien did not move, did not breathe. The patrol passed. Their boots echoed, their voices low. Then they were gone. Ryan sagged with relief. The alien turned its head, watching him, and Ryan realized the truth. He had just protected it. The silence between them was no longer empty. It was full. Full of trust, full of danger, full of something unspoken but powerful. A silent bond. And somewhere deep inside, Ryan knew. This bond would either save them both, or destroy them completely. The city was not safe. Ryan knew it the moment the first shell exploded 3 blocks away. The sound ripped through the ruins like thunder, shaking broken glass from shattered windows. Dust rained down from the half-fallen buildings. The alien giant, Karen, as Ryan now thought of it, snapped its head toward the sound, glowing eyes narrowing. Ryan's grip tightened on his rifle. Both of them knew something worse was coming. The first warning. The silence broke with new sounds. Marching boots, grinding gears, metallic claws scraping concrete. Ryan peeked through a broken wall, his breath caught. Enemy machines, dozens of them. Black armor gleamed under the pale morning light, each shaped like a twisted skeleton of steel, walking on 4 legs, their red optics glowing. The hunters. Ryan had seen them before. Hunters were killers designed to wipe out stragglers, faster than men, smarter than drones built only for death. One hunter could tear through a squad. Now there were more than 20 spreading through the streets. His throat went dry. Alone, he would never survive this. He looked at Karen. The alien's weapon was raised, but its shoulders slumped slightly, wound still bleeding under the bandage. It was strong, yes, but injured. Ryan's mind raced. We can't outrun them, not together. We have to fight. The alien's glowing eyes met his. No words, but both understood. This was it. The fire begins. The first hunter turned the corner. Its red optics scanned, metal claws clattering against the cracked street. Ryan's heart thundered. He waited until the machine stepped closer, until the beam of its scanner passed just inches from his helmet. Then he fired. The rifle spat bullets in controlled bursts, sparks flying as rounds slammed into the hunter's eye. It shrieked, metal grinding, before collapsing in a spray of fire. The silence shattered. The other hunters turned as one, their mechanical voices screeching alarms. The street exploded into chaos. Ryan ducked as plasma fire burned overhead, smashing into the walls. The alien roared, lifting its weapon high. With one massive swing, Karen crushed a hunter into pieces, metal shards flying. Ryan rolled into cover, firing again and again, bullets pinging off armored plates. 2 hunters lunged toward him, claws flashing. Before they reached him, Karen slammed into them, weapon cleaving through both in a single brutal strike. Sparks rained, smoke burned, the street became fire. Fighting as one, Ryan had never moved like this before. He fired, reloaded, fired again, every shot opening space for Karen to strike. The alien fought like a storm, weapon tearing machines apart, each swing shaking the ground. But it wasn't just chaos. It was rhythm. Ryan realized it as the fight went on. They were moving together. When Ryan ducked, Karen stepped forward. When Karen swung wide, Ryan fired through the gap. They covered each other without words, without plans. Enemies came from every side. Machines leapt from rooftops, crawled from shadows, fired beams that scorched the air. But man and alien stood back to back, holding the line. For a heartbeat, Ryan forgot they were enemies. He forgot the war. All he saw was Sue and Vival and the giant who fought beside him. Breaking point. But the hunters were endless. For every machine they destroyed, 2 more appeared. Ryan's rifle grew hot, ammo almost gone. His chest burned with every breath. Karen roared, but Ryan could see the alien slowing. The wound bled again, glowing faintly. Each swing of its weapon grew heavier. Ryan's heart pounded. We can't last much longer. We'll be overrun. A hunter leapt high, claws reaching for Ryan's head. He raised his rifle, but the clip was empty. Time froze. Then Karen moved. The alien slammed its body into the machine, claws ripping across its armor. Sparks burst as Karen tore the hunter apart barehanded, throwing the broken pieces aside. Blood spilled from its side. The alien staggered. Ryan caught it by instinct, holding its massive arm across his shoulders. "Stay with me," he muttered, though he knew it wouldn't understand. "Stay alive." The firestorm. The hunters regrouped, forming a circle. Red optics glowed from every direction. Their claws scraped the ground in unison. Ryan's chest tightened. This was the end. Then Karen growled something low, guttural. A word, maybe, a command. It lifted its weapon high even as blood dripped down its armor. Its eyes burned brighter, fierce and defiant. Ryan felt a strange surge inside him. Courage, not his own but shared. He slammed a new clip into his rifle, his last one. "All right," he whispered, teeth clenched. "Let's finish this." The hunters charged. The street became fire again. Ryan shot until his rifle clicked empty, then grabbed his sidearm, firing point blank into glowing eyes. Karen swung with all its might. cleaving 3 hunters in one strike. They moved as one, every breath, every strike, every heartbeat in sync. For a moment, they held. For a moment, they survived. The turning point. Then a shadow loomed above. A hunter, larger than the rest, stepped into the street. Twice the size, plated in black steel, claws glowing with energy. A commander. Ryan's blood froze. The commander screeched, raising its claws. The smaller hunters stepped back, giving it space. Karen roared and charged. Ryan shouted after it, but the alien was already in motion. The clash shook the ruins, weapon against claw, sparks exploding, ground cracking under their weight. The commander swung, fast and brutal. Karen blocked, but the impact forced it back, blood spraying from its wound. Ryan fired, bullets sparking off the commander's armor. Nothing. Too thick, too strong. The machine slammed Karen into a wall, claws digging into its chest. The alien roared in pain, weapon falling from its hand. "No!" Ryan's scream tore from his throat. He ran forward, sidearm blazing, shooting at the commander's head. Sparks flew, but it did not fall. Its claws pressed deeper. Ryan dropped the pistol, grabbed a broken pipe from the ground, and leapt onto the machine's back. He screamed, stabbing the pipe into the glowing joint of its neck. Sparks burst. The commander shrieked, shaking violently. Karen seized the chance. With a roar that shook the ruins, it grabbed the machine's claw with both hands, muscles straining, tattoos burning bright. With one final heave, it tore the claw away and rammed it through the machine's chest. The commander shuddered, sparks flying, then collapsed into the street with a final screech. Silence. Ryan dropped to his knees, chest heaving. Karen staggered, blood dripping, but alive. The aftermath. The smaller hunters, seeing their commander fall, scattered into the shadows, screeching. The street fell quiet once more. Ryan looked at Karen. The alien leaned heavy on its weapon, chest rising like a storm. Its glowing eyes met his, burning but steady. They had done it, together. Ryan's throat tightened. He could not speak. He could not explain the storm inside his chest. But he knew one thing. If he had fought alone, he would be dead. It was the bond, the impossible, forbidden bond, that had kept him alive. The silence that followed was not empty. It was full of fire, blood, trust, and something deeper. Ryan stared at the alien, and for the first time whispered aloud, "We're not enemies anymore, are we?" Karen said nothing, but its glowing eyes softened, and that was answer enough. The ruins were too quiet. Ryan Hale felt it before he heard it. The silence wasn't natural, not the heavy kind of silence that came after a battle, not the stillness of a dead city. This was the sharp silence of a predator's breath before the strike. He crouched near the skeleton of a burned-out transport, eyes scanning the street. His rifle was warm in his hands, finger resting on the trigger. Every sound in his head was louder than the world around him. His heartbeat, his breath, the faint hiss of air through the cracks in his helmet. Behind him, Karen moved. The alien giant's steps were slow, careful, though each one still sent faint tremors through the ground. Wounded, bleeding, but unbroken. Ryan stole a glance at the towering figure. Even now, Karen's glowing tattoos pulsed faintly like rivers of light beneath his skin. An enemy, a savior. Something in between. Ryan had no answers. Only instinct. And his instinct screamed they were not alone. The first sight. The sound came low at first, like claws against stone. Then it multiplied. Metal scraping, gears whining, the hiss of hydraulics. Ryan tensed, his stomach twisting. He knew that sound. Hunters. He had seen what a single hunter could do. An entire platoon torn apart in minutes. Machines designed to stalk, ambush, and kill. Their bodies were plated black, their red optics glowing like blood in the dark. And they were close. Too close. Ryan pressed his back against the wall. Karen's glowing eyes narrowed, nostrils flaring as the alien caught the metallic scent in the air. The warrior growled low in his throat, lifting his massive weapon. Through the haze of dust, the first hunter stepped into view. 4 legs carried it smoothly, claws clicking sharp against broken concrete. Its head swiveled unnaturally, red optics cutting the shadows. Ryan's breath slowed. He knew the hunters communicated in Buis, bursts of code. If one found them, the others would swarm like wolves. The hunter turned, optics sweeping closer. Ryan's grip tightened. The seconds stretched into eternity. The beam passed inches from him. His finger twitched. Then he fired. The world explodes. The bullet punched through the hunter's optic. Sparks burst. The machine shrieked, stumbling before collapsing in a spray of molten sparks. The silence shattered. Dozens of red eyes lit up at once. The street came alive with screeches and the thunder of claws. "Here we go," Ryan muttered. Hunters charged. Plasma fire burned the air, slamming into walls, slicing stone like butter. Ryan dove into cover, firing in short, sharp bursts. 2 hunters fell, metal legs twitching. But more came, crawling over wreckage like insects, faster than his bullets could find them. Karen roared, his voice shaking the walls. The alien swung his massive weapon, smashing a hunter aside with one strike. Another lunged, but Karen caught it mid-air, twisting with inhuman strength before slamming it headfirst into the pavement. Metal shattered like glass. Ryan fired again, rifle barking flame. One hunter leapt too close. He shoved his knife upward into its joint, ripping it free as the machine collapsed on top of him. He kicked it off, scrambling to reload. The street was chaos, flashes of plasma, sparks of gunfire, the thunder of Karen's strikes. And yet, they were not fighting as strangers. Moving as one, it happened without words, without thought. Ryan ducked left. Karen stepped right. A hunter tried to flank, but Karen's weapon swung just as Ryan's rifle lit its chest with fire. Another lunged for Ryan's back. Karen smashed it before it touched him. Ryan covered Karen's blind spots with bullets, his rhythm perfectly filling the gaps. They were covering each other, protecting each other, moving like soldiers who had trained together their whole lives. Ryan felt it in his chest. A rhythm, a bond stronger than fear. He fired faster, sharper, trusting the giant at his back. The hunters fell one after another, but the wave never stopped. They crawled from alleys, dropped from rooftops, poured from the shadows. The street filled with their screeches. Ryan's rifle clicked empty. His last magazine slid in. Sweat burned his eyes. His body screamed for rest, but he kept firing. Karen's swings grew slower. Blood dripped heavier from his side. His roars turned raw with pain, but still he fought, each strike like thunder splitting the earth. Still, Ryan saw it in his eyes. They were being pushed to the edge. Surrounded, the hunters shifted tactics. No longer charging in waves, they circled. Red optics glowed from every direction, forming a ring of death. Their claws scraped the ground in unison, a metallic rhythm that sent chills through Ryan's spine. "Damn it," Ryan whispered, chest heaving. "They're playing with us." Karen growled low, weapon raised. His tattoos glowed brighter now, pulsing as though the alien's fury itself kept him standing. Ryan swallowed hard. He had 1 magazine left, maybe 30 rounds. Karen was bleeding out. The hunters were patient. They knew they had already won. The largest of them stepped forward. A commander, twice the size of the others, plated in black armor thicker than a tank's hull. Its claws glowed with molten energy, dripping sparks onto the ground. Its red eyes burned brighter than fire. The smaller hunters stepped back, leaving the giant space. Ryan's heart dropped. This wasn't a fight. This was an execution. "Clash of Titans," the commander screeched, charging forward with speed unnatural for its size. Karen roared back, rushing to meet it. The ground cracked as they collided, weapon against claw. Sparks erupted. The shockwave knocked Ryan off his feet. The commander's claws slashed, forcing Karen back, carving deep wounds into the street. Karen swung wide, and striking its chest. The blow rang like thunder, but the machine barely staggered. Ryan fired desperately, bullets sparking uselessly against its thick armor. "Come on!" he shouted, emptying the clip. The commander's claw slammed into Karen's side, driving him into a wall. The alien's roar shook the air, blood spraying across the ruins. His weapon slipped from his grasp. Ryan's stomach twisted. No, no, no. The commander leaned in, claws pressing deeper, crushing the alien against the stone. Without thinking, Ryan ran. The desperate gamble. He drew his pistol, firing point blank into the commander's optics. Sparks flew, but it didn't stop. The claw dug deeper. Ryan screamed, dropping the pistol. His eyes darted, desperate. His hand closed around a broken metal pipe. With a roar of his own, he leapt onto the machine's back, stabbing the pipe into the glowing joint at its neck. Sparks burst. The commander shrieked, body thrashing. Ryan held on, teeth gritted, stabbing again and again. "You're not taking him!" The machine's movement slowed. Karen seized the chance. With bloodied hands, he grabbed the commander's claw, muscles bulging, tattoos blazing with light. With a final roar, he wrenched the claw free and rammed it straight through the machine's chest. The commander shuddered, lights flickering, then collapsed with a deafening crash. Ryan fell to the ground, gasping, body shaking. Karen staggered, leaning on the broken wall, chest heaving, blood dripping, but alive. Aftermath. The smaller hunters froze. Their commander was dead. For a moment, they screeched in confusion, optics flickering. Then, one by one, they retreated into the shadows, vanishing into the ruins. The street fell silent. Ryan lay on the ground, staring up at the smoke-filled sky. His chest rose and fell in ragged bursts. Every muscle burned, his ears rang, but he was alive. He turned his head. Karen stood, swaying, leaning heavy on his weapon. His massive chest rose with each breath. His glowing eyes met Ryan's. There was no hatred in them, no rage, only fire. The sun crawled above the broken skyline, painting the ruins in pale light. Smoke curled from collapsed towers, rising like ghosts into the sky. Ryan Hale sat against a cracked wall, helmet off, sweat drying on his skin. His rifle rested across his knees. His body ached in every bone. His throat was dry, but he was alive. Beside him, the alien giant sat hunched, weapon across its lap. Karen. That was what Ryan called him now. Not the alien, not the giant, but Karen. A name, even if Ryan had only guessed from the growls the alien spoke. Karen's chest rose and fell heavily. Blood stained the bandage Ryan had wrapped across his side. His tattoos flickered faintly, like rivers of fire dimming after a storm. The battlefield was quiet now, too quiet. Ryan drank from his flask, then offered it. Karen took it with a massive hand, drank, and gave it back. Their eyes met briefly, then turned away. They were not friends, not allies, but something had shifted, something dangerous. The silence of truth. Ryan stared at the alien for a long time, then whispered into the silence, "Why didn't you kill me?" Of course, Karen could not understand, or maybe he could. The alien tilted his head, glowing eyes narrowing, as though the question reached deeper than words. Ryan rubbed his face, exhausted. He had fought side by side with a creature his people called a monster. He had saved it. It had saved him. And now, he was walking a path no human soldier could return from. Because if his commanders found out, if anyone found out, he would be branded a traitor for showing mercy, a traitor for surviving with the help of an alien. Ryan's chest tightened with the weight of it. His whole life, drilled into him since childhood, had been clear. Aliens are the enemy. They cannot be trusted. They cannot be spared. But Karen had spared him. Karen had bled beside him. Ren had fought to keep him alive. The silence between them was no longer empty. It was filled with truth Ryan could not speak. The first sign of danger, a faint static crackled in Ryan's broken comms. He froze. "Captain Hale? Ryan, do you copy?" His heart jumped. Human voices. His squad. He grabbed the comm, adjusting the signal. "This is Hale. I'm alive. Thank God. We're 2 clicks east. We'll find you. Sit tight." The signal cut. Ryan sat frozen, breath sharp. His squad was coming, his brothers in arms, the men he trusted with his life. But if they saw Karen, bleeding, wounded, sitting beside him, they would not ask questions. They would kill. Ryan turned his head slowly. Karen watched him, glowing eyes steady, as though the alien already knew. Ryan whispered, almost to himself, "They can't see you." The choice. Ryan's mind raced. He could tell Karen to leave, to run deeper into the ruins, but Karen could barely stand. The wound was worse now, blood seeping dark against the bandage. Without help, the alien would not survive the next fight. Ryan cursed under his breath. He was running out of time. Boots crunched in the distance. Voices called his name. He stood, gripping his rifle. His chest felt like it was splitting. What do I do? Karen rose too, towering, unsteady but ready. His weapon hummed faintly, glowing under the morning light. Ryan shook his head, muttering to himself, "If they see you, they'll kill you, and they'll kill me too." Karen tilted his head, growling low, questioning. Ryan's throat tightened. His squad's voices grew louder. They were close now. He made his choice. "The Discovery. Captain Hale." Ryan turned. His squad appeared through the smoke. 4 soldiers in battered armor, rifles raised, faces hard and tired but alive. Relief flashed in their eyes when they saw him. "Ryan, we thought you were dead," Ryan managed. A weak smile. "Not dead yet." Then one soldier froze. His eyes widened, his rifle snapped up. "What the hell is that?" The others turned. Their faces shifted instantly, from relief to fury. Guns raised, safeties off. Karen stood behind Ryan, towering, glowing eyes fixed on them. Ryan's chest dropped. His worst fear had come true. "Step aside, Captain," one soldier barked. "Kill it before it moves." Ryan raised his hands. "Wait, don't move, Hale. That thing is the enemy." The squad spread, rifles aimed at Karen's chest. Karen growled low, weapon lifting slowly, body trembling, but ready to fight. Ryan's heart pounded so hard he thought it would burst. His hands shook, his voice cracked. "Stand down, he's not the enemy." The betrayal. The soldiers froze, shocked. "What did you say?" Ryan swallowed. "He saved my life. We fought together. Without him, I'd be dead." Silence. Then laughter, bitter and cold. "You've lost your damn mind, Hale. That thing's using you. It's a monster. You're blind if you think otherwise." "I'm not blind," Ryan shouted, stepping forward. "I saw him fight. I saw him bleed. He's not what they told us. He's not—" "Shut up." The rifles didn't lower. Their eyes burned with betrayal. "You're protecting it. You're protecting the enemy." Ryan's voice shook. "If you shoot him, you'll have to shoot me too." The silence cut deeper than any blade. The soldiers stared, stunned. And in that silence, Ryan knew, in their eyes, he was already a traitor. The breaking point. One soldier snarled, "You've lost it, Captain. Step aside. That's an order." Ryan's rifle was still in his hands. His finger trembled on the trigger. His squad, his brothers, were now his enemy. Karen's growl deepened. His glowing eyes flickered, his weapon humming. Ryan could feel the tension burning, one spark away from slaughter. He looked between them, his people, and his alien. His heart tore in two. The soldier raised his rifle higher. "Last chance, Hale. Move, or we put you both down." Ryan's throat was dry. His chest shook. He had seconds to choose. The shot. The silence broke with a single gunshot, but not Ryan's. The bullet whistled past his ear and struck the wall behind him. He spun. Another squad had arrived. More soldiers, rifles ready. The first squad ducked, shouting. Chaos exploded. Gunfire ripped the street. Karen roared, stepping forward to shield Ryan as bullets sparked off his armor. Ryan dove for cover, heart pounding. The soldiers weren't aiming at the hunters now. They weren't aiming at aliens. They were aiming at him. Ryan realized the truth, cold as steel in his chest. They weren't saving him. They were eliminating him, because in their eyes, he had already chosen a side. The forbidden bond. Ryan pressed his back to the wall, firing warning shots, screaming for them to stop, but no one listened. His words were drowned in gunfire. Karen moved like a storm, weapons smashing into rubble, creating cover, shielding Ryan with his massive frame. Bullets tore into his side, but he stood unyielding, roaring against the human fire. Ryan's chest shook with horror. His own people, his own brothers, they weren't rescuing him. They were trying to erase him. And the only one protecting him was the alien giant at his side. The bond was no longer silent. It was forbidden, and it would change everything. The gunfire didn't stop. Bullets cracked against stone, sparks flying. Smoke and dust filled the street as Ryan Hale ducked behind the broken wall. Beside him, Karen crouched low, his massive form shielding Ryan from the worst of it. Bullets slammed into the alien's armor, leaving dents and burning wounds. Still, Karen did not move away. Ryan's heart pounded so hard it felt like his chest would burst. He wasn't under attack from alien giants, not from hunters, not from machines. He was under attack from his own people. "Brothers, no more." "Captain Hale!" a voice roared over the chaos. "You've lost your damn mind!" Ryan knew that voice. Sergeant Cole, the man he'd fought beside for years. A soldier who had saved his life once. A brother in arms. "Drop your weapon and step away from it," Cole shouted. "We'll take you home alive, but the alien dies here." Ryan's throat closed. His weapon shook in his hands. He wanted to believe this was just a mistake, that they'd listen if he explained. But the truth was clear. They didn't see Karen as a comrade. They didn't see Ryan as loyal anymore. They saw a traitor. The roar in the dark. Karen growled low, eyes glowing hotter than fire. He started to rise, massive weapon in hand. Ryan grabbed his arm. "No, wait!" The alien's eyes turned to him. For a heartbeat, two warriors stared at each other. One human, one alien, both trapped in the same cage of betrayal. Ryan whispered fiercely, "If you fight them, they'll never stop. If you kill one, they'll send 100. They'll send the whole damn army." Karen's growl deepened. He didn't understand the words, but he understood the fear in Ryan's eyes. Slowly, reluctantly, the alien lowered his weapon, though his muscles trembled with fury. The circle tightens, shadows move through the smoke. More soldiers spreading out, their boots crunched against broken glass, their rifle as gleamed in the faint light. Ryan's squad wasn't here to rescue him. They were here to end him. One voice shouted, "Flank left! Cut them off!" Another answered, "Frag them out!" Ryan's stomach twisted. A grenade clinked against the pavement nearby. "Down!" he shouted. Karen moved without hesitation, wrapping one massive arm around Ryan and dragging him into cover. The blast shook the ground, fire and smoke filling the air. Ryan's ears rang. He looked up. Karen's body shielded him completely. The alien bled more now, dark glowing liquid staining the rubble. Ryan's chest burned with rage. His own people were tearing him apart, and the only reason he was alive was the alien giant they wanted dead. The plea. "Stop!" Ryan's voice ripped through the smoke. He stood, rifle lowered, hands raised, his chest heaved, eyes burning with desperation. "Listen to me. He's not your enemy. He saved my life. We fought together. Shut the hell up." Cole's voice cut like a blade. "You're brainwashed. Whatever it did to you, it ends now. Step away before we put you both down." Ryan's throat tightened. He looked at their faces through the haze. These were men he knew, men he trusted. Faces burned into his memory from 100 battles. Now those faces were twisted with hate. He realized nothing he said would matter. Words would not save him. The soldiers moved closer, rifles aimed. Ryan's hands shook. His finger itched against the trigger. He wanted to believe he could still stop this without blood. Then one soldier whispered too loudly, "On my mark, we drop them both." Ryan froze, his breath caught. Karen growled deep, sensing the shift. His glowing eyes blazed brighter. "Wait," Ryan whispered. Too late. The first shot cracked through the smoke. Karen staggered back, a fresh wound tearing across his shoulder. He roared in fury. Ryan snapped. Fire and shadows. He dropped low, raising his rifle, and fired. The first soldier went down with a scream. Chaos erupted instantly. Gunfire split the air. Muzzle flashes lit the smoke like lightning. Ryan dove into cover, firing in short bursts. Bullets tore the walls around him. His ears rang with shouts, men calling orders, swearing, screaming. Karen was a storm. The giant rose to full height, roaring so loud the buildings shook. He swung his weapon in a deadly arc, smashing through rubble and sending soldiers scattering. Bullets slammed into him, but he kept coming, each strike brutal, each roar shaking the ruins. Ryan's chest heaved. Every shot he fired was agony. These were his brothers, his squad, but they left him no choice. The street became a killing ground. The knife in the back. Ryan ducked behind rubble, reloading. He heard footsteps behind him, fast, close. He spun just in time to see a soldier charging with a knife. The blade slashed across his armor, cutting deep. Ryan fell back, struggling. The soldier raised the knife again. Karen's massive hand snapped out of the smoke, seizing the man by the chest. With one brutal twist, the alien hurled him into a wall. Bones cracked. Silence followed. Ryan's heart pounded. He looked at Karen, blood running down his armor. They weren't just fighting together now. They were keeping each other. Were alive. The betrayal deepens. The gunfire slowed. Smoke cleared enough for Ryan to see. 2 soldiers down, 3 more retreating behind cover, weapons shaking. And Cole. The sergeant stood tall, rifle aimed, face twisted in fury. His eyes burned as he looked at Ryan. "You've made your choice," Cole spat. "You stand with it, not us." Ryan's chest cracked open with grief. "You don't understand. This doesn't have to be war. We can—" Cole fired. The bullet ripped across Ryan's arm, spinning him back into cover. He cried out, clutching the wound. Karen roared, charging forward. Cole fired again and again, but the alien smashed through the fire, swinging his weapon down. Cole dove aside, rubble exploding where he stood. Ryan staggered up, rifle in hand, his eyes locked on Cole's. A brother, a friend, now an enemy. The betrayal was complete. The fall of brothers. The fight dragged on through the ruins. Fire, screams, shadows leaping across the smoke. Ryan and Karen moved as one, every breath a battle, every second survival. One by one, the soldiers fell. Some fled into the smoke, others were cut down. The ruins grew quiet again, broken only by the crackle of fire and the heavy breaths of 2 survivors. Ryan lowered his rifle slowly, chest heaving. His hands shook. His body trembled with rage, grief, and shame. He looked at the bodies scattered across the street. His squad, his brothers, men he had trained with, fought beside, laughed with in quieter days. Now dead, by his hand, by Karen's hand. The silence. After, Ryan dropped to his knees, gasping. His rifle slipped from his hands, his throat closed, tears stinging his eyes. Karen stood above him, towering, chest rising, body covered in wounds. His glowing eyes softened as he looked down at Ryan. The alien warrior reached out, not with his weapon, but with his hand. Ryan stared at it, broken. Then, slow, Wally, he took it. Karen pulled him to his feet. Two enemies, alone in the ruins, bound now by blood, betrayal, and survival. Ryan whispered hoarsely, "There's no going back now." The ruins were silent once more, but it was not the silence of peace. Bodies lay scattered across the street. Smoke rose in thin streams from broken walls. The air reeked of burned steel, blood, and betrayal. Ryan Hale stood in the middle of it all, rifle hanging loose in his hands. His body shook, his wounds burned, but the pain in his chest was heavier than any bullet. He looked at the fallen soldiers, his squad, his brothers, men he had trained with, laughed with, trusted, now dead, and not by alien hands alone, by his hands. Beside him, Karen loomed, battered and bleeding, but still alive. The alien's glowing tattoos flickered faintly in the smoke. His eyes burned with something Ryan had learned to understand, not just rage, but sorrow. The war had stolen everything from them both. The sound of marching, the silence didn't last. Distant at first, then closer, boots on the move, dozens, maybe hundreds. Ryan's stomach dropped, reinforcements. He staggered to cover, pulling Karen with him. The alien resisted at first, pride in his every movement, but his strength faltered. His wound bled dark and heavy, leaving glowing trails on the rubble. Ryan pressed a hand to the bandage, trying to keep the alien upright. "Stay with me, just stay with me." Karen rumbled low, steady. Then Ryan heard it, the mechanical growl of engines, the metallic rhythm of armored carriers. Shadows filled the far street. An army was coming. The last stand begins. Armored trucks rolled into view, their turrets scanning the ruins. Soldiers poured out, rifles gleaming, more than Ryan had ever seen in one place. They spread quickly, forming ranks. At their center stood a man in dark command armor, General Voss. Ryan knew him. Everyone did. A war hero, a ruthless leader, a man who believed mercy was weakness. The general's voice boomed through the ruins. "Captain Hale, step forward." Ryan's breath froze. His knees almost buckled. "You are charged with treason," Voss declared, voice cold. "You fought beside the enemy. You killed your own men, and now you will pay." The soldiers raised their rifles in unison. Karen growled, towering despite his wound. His weapon hummed with weak energy, but Ryan knew the truth. He couldn't survive another battle, not against an army. Ryan's chest cracked with despair. This is it. The end. The plea. He stepped forward, raising his hands. His rifle clattered to the ground. "Stop!" Ryan shouted, his voice breaking. "Listen to me. You don't understand." The soldiers didn't lower their weapons. Ryan's chest heaved. His voice rose, desperate. "He's not what they told us. He saved me. We fought together. He's not our enemy. He's proof we've been lied to." The silence was suffocating. Then Voss laughed. Cold. Sharp. "You've let yourself be poisoned by it. There is no peace with monsters. There is no trust with killers. You are no longer human, Hale. You're something worse." The rifles clicked, safeties off. Ryan felt the weight of the moment crush him. He could die here. He could let them kill him, let the bond vanish in smoke. Or he could fight. The choice. Karen stepped forward, weapon raised despite his wounds. His glowing eyes burned bright, defiance in every movement. He growled something low, a word Ryan didn't understand, but he felt the meaning. Together. Ryan's throat tightened, his mind screamed, his heart answered. He bent, grabbed his rifle again, and stepped to Karen's side. The soldiers hesitated, shocked. General Voss snarled, "You've made your choice." Ryan's voice shook, but it carried through the ruins. "Yes, I have." Fire and blood. The first shot rang. Then the world exploded. Gunfire ripped through the street. Ryan dove into cover, firing back with everything he had. Karen rose, a red, swinging his weapon in a brutal arc, tearing through the front line like a storm. But there were too many. Bullets ripped the walls, grenades shook the ground, soldiers surged like a tide. Endless, unyielding. Ryan fought like a man with nothing left to lose. Every shot was precise, desperate, burning with rage and sorrow. He felt bullets graze his armor, felt fire lick his skin, but he didn't stop. Karen was a force of nature. Even wounded, he tore through men and metal with fury that shook the ruins. His tattoos burned brighter than ever, glowing like rivers of fire in the dark. But Ryan could see it. The alien was slowing. His wounds dragged him down. Every strike cost him more blood. They couldn't hold forever. The breaking point. A grenade landed near them. Ryan grabbed it, hurled it back, but the blast still threw him into rubble. His vision blurred, ears ringing. Through the haze, he saw Karen surrounded, soldiers swarming, stabbing, shooting. The alien roared, swinging wildly, but he was falling. "No!" Ryan screamed, dragging himself up. He fired until his rifle clicked empty, then drew his pistol, firing until smoke poured from the barrel. He cut through the soldiers, blood and fire spraying the street. He reached Karen just as the giant collapsed to one knee, bleeding heavily. Ryan stood in front of him, pistol raised, shielding the alien with his own body. He screamed at the soldiers, "If you want him, you go through me." The street froze. The final gamble. General Voss stepped forward, his dark armor gleaming. His eyes burned with hate. "You've disgraced everything you were, Hale. There's no saving you." He raised his pistol, aiming at Ryan's head. Time slowed. Ryan's breath caught. Karen's growl rumbled weakly behind him. This was the end. But Ryan wasn't afraid, not anymore. He had made his choice. The twist, a shadow moved above. A ship, alien, massive, silent, descended through the smoke. Its engines roared like thunder, its lights bathing the street in cold fire. The soldiers froze, rifles lowering instinctively. And turned, stunned. Karen's glowing eyes flickered with something new, recognition. The ship's ramp lowered. More alien giants appeared, towering, weapons gleaming. Ryan's chest tightened. This was it, the real end. Humanity and aliens face to face, both armies ready to finish the war in one brutal clash. General Voss raised his arm to order fire. But Karen roared weakly, staggering forward. He shouted a word in his tongue, voice raw with pain. The alien soldiers froze. Their eyes turned to Karen. And slowly, they lowered their weapons. The choice that changed everything. The street was silent again. Ryan stood between two armies, his own people, rifles trembling, and alien giants, weapons lowered but ready. Karen leaned heavy on his weapon, his glowing eyes burning into Ryan's. For the first time, Ryan understood the alien's voice, not the words, but the meaning. Choose. Ryan looked at his people, at General Voss, face twisted with hate, at the soldiers, fear in their eyes. Then he looked at Karen, enemy turned brother, giant turned protector. Ryan's voice rose, steady despite the storm in his chest. No more killing, no more war. It ends here, with us. The silence deepened. General Voss's face darkened. You're a fool, Hale. You think one bond changes anything? Ryan's eyes burned. Yes, because I'm human, and humans, we choose. He stepped forward, rifle lowered, hand open, toward Karen. Karen stared for a long, silent heartbeat. Then he lowered his weapon too. Human and alien, side by side. The end of silence. The soldiers whispered, confused. The alien giants rumbled low, uncertain. For a moment, no one fired. No one moved. Then Karen raised his hand, the same hand Ryan had bandaged days ago, and Ryan took it. The ruins held their breath. General Voss screamed in rage, raising his pistol. Ryan and Karen turned together, one human and one alien, united in defiance. The world would never be the same.